Hello everyone, a very good evening to all of you. So please tell me whether I'm clearly audible and visible to all of you or not, so that if there is any glitch, I can rectify it. Uh, okay, so in the very get-go, I get a question about your Spotlight magazine. Guys, don't worry about it. You will get the Spotlight in this week only, okay? वीकेंड पे आपको स्पॉटलाइट मिल जाएगी. I hope, guys, I'm clearly audible. My voice is loud and clear to all of you. Okay, so as I have got your responses, let's begin today's class. I hope all of you are enthusiastic since this is the last class of our Spotlight revision session. Now we are going to only meet in our Mahamarathon. So I hope all of you will be there till the end of this video. And believe me, guys, in this session, we are going to learn very interesting current affairs. And I hope I will try to make it very concise and shortcut for you. So let's begin today's. So the very first question that we have is, with which company has Ministry of Women and Child Development partnered to launch the Amrit Generation campaign नए भारत के सपने to empower and engage the youth of India to express their aspirations and dreams for the future. So here, guys, Meta is the right answer. Now, what are they going to do in this particular campaign? They are going to encourage the youth to create reels. Yes, it would be, guys, for the first time that the government is encouraging the youth to create reels and upload them on Facebook and Insta. Okay, now you would be thinking then what would be the benefit these youth will get. So in return, top 50 uh, reels will be selected by the ministry, and those reel makers will be called in Delhi for guidance, and also they will get an opportunity to visit Meta's office in Gurugram and get further guidance from the direct industry leaders. So that is the benefit, and that is the whole campaign all about. Union Minister of Ports, Shipping and Waterways and Ayush, Sabananda Sonowal, launched the Sagar Samriddhi, the online dredging monitoring system, to ramp up the waste to wealth initiative of the ministry. Which of the following institutions has developed the system for the ministry? So here, guys, National Technology Center for Ports, Waterways and Coast, which is located at IIT Madras. And if you remember, in April only, it was inaugurated, right? So this center is the technological arm of the Ministry of Ports, and this has developed this Sagar Samriddhi online dredging monitoring system. Now we are talking about the Ministry of Ports. So you may remember about a main news in May month. Panch Karma Sankalp were introduced by the ministry to transform the shipping industry in India. I hope all of you remember that. Can any one of you tell me the targets which the ministry announced in the Panch Karma Sankalp in the month of May? Let's revise your current affairs, or let me test how much have you revised so far. Yes, green transition program was also one of the targets of the Panch Kalp. Okay, Panch Karma Sankalp. Let me just move to that only. So the first target was that ministry will provide 30% financial support for the promotion of green shipping. Under the Green Tug Transition Program, Jawaharlal Nehru Port, VO Chidambaram Port, Paradip Port, Deen Dayal Port in Kandla, these ports will procure 2 tugs each. I hope all of you know what a tug is. Tug is uh, used to drag a big ship to the port. Okay, because near the port the waters are shallow, so the ships cannot travel and they cannot be tied to the port. Therefore, tugs are used to track them, and now the entire system will run on green energy. Okay, in order to make them pollution less, emission less. Then we have Deen Dayal Port and VO Chidambaram Port in Tuticorin, which will be developed as green hydrogen hubs. Single window portal will be developed to facilitate and monitor the river and sea cruises. Then Jawaharlal Nehru Port and VO Chidambaram Port will become the smart ports by the next year, which is again a very, very important target. By next year only, we are going to have 2 ports which will be smart. Now we are talking about the green shipping. Let's know what the world has done in this regard. So US and Norway had launched Green Shipping Challenge at the COP27, which was held in November 2022 last year. So at that time, it was held in Egypt. COP28 UAE में होगा, ठीक है? At the end of this year in November, this challenge was there so that governments, industry makers, and innovators can create technologies for promoting green shipping. But what exactly green shipping is? Green shipping is basically to reduce the emissions from the shipping industry. So we are going to use the fuel that is blended, that is sustainable fuel, which emit less and less of carbon dioxide and which pollutes less and less of our waters. That is the meaning of green shipping. I hope that much is clear to all of you. So here guys, green shipping has been given to you. The picture explains you the entire phenomena or the idea behind developing the green shipping. Green shipping corridors are also being developed, and this means that a zero emission fuel and technologies will be adopted during the course from one port to another port. Okay, so from one port to another port, this is the sea route, and in this sea route, whichever ship is going to travel, that ship will use the sustainable fuel so that the emission to the maximum. Guys, do you know that if shipping industry were to be a country, then it would be the 8th largest emitter in the world. This much is the emission from the shipping industry at present. And by 2050, it is estimated that this is going to double. So you can clearly imagine the need for transitioning this sector from at present the emitters to zero emission. Okay? So that is why the government is planning, the US is also planning to make the international shipping sector a zero emission sector by 2050. Okay? Zero emission shipping mission is an alliance which has also been launched in this regard only. Okay? So here all the countries, private sector, all of them come together to create technologies that can help in transitioning from fuel based to net emission sector. Moving ahead, where will India host a 3-day meeting of the G20 Development Ministers Nation? So it has actually been already held. So it is in Varanasi. During this meeting, India has released a 7-year action plan on sustainable development goals. And do pay attention to this fact that this plan particularly focused on 3 particular, I would say, pillars, themes, or whatever you want to say, agendas, but there were three main themes of the action plan which you should remember. First is harnessing data. Second is digital technologies for development. Securing fair transitions and investing in women-led development. So the 7-year action plan to achieve the sustainable development goals will focus on harnessing data, digital technologies for development, and women-led development. One more thing, that the Voice of Global South Summit, Global South, I hope all of you are aware of it. If in case you don't know, I will tell you. Just first, let's complete this. So Voice of the Global South Summit was held in India only in January 2020. And this is all the decisions that have been taken at the G20 Development Ministers Meeting. They are going to act as the plan building for the foundation for the UN Summit on Sustainable Development Goals, which will be held in September in New York. Okay, so this is also important. Do remember this fact. Now, I hope all of you know what is the Global Summit. It's not the latitudinal Global Summit. global south, it is the south which is defined by the development of the nation. Okay, so if you see on the map, the global south is not the hemispherical south that we see. Okay, so it is the global south which is consisting of least developed or developing. Okay, in this regard, we also hear about the triangular cooperation between the global south and the north. Okay, so in that case, a country from the north, that is the developed world, collaborates with a developing country in the south, and they both together work for the development of the least developed country in the global. That is another concept that all of you should be aware. I hope guys you okay, sound is a bit low. Okay, so I'll try to speak a little louder, and I try that the voice does not break in. Question number 4. Comptroller and Auditor General of India is the chair of Supreme Audit Institutions 20 engagement group under India's G20 presidency. The Sci 20 summit is scheduled to take place in Goa from 12th to 14th June 2023. What is the theme of this summit? Blue economy and responsible AI is the theme of the Sci 20 engagement group meeting, which took place in Goa in June. Okay, so participants, you can clearly see G20 members are the participants, and apart from the G20 members, Bangladesh, Egypt, Mauritius, Nigeria, Oman, Spain, UAE, Morocco, and Poland were the participants in this particular meeting. Do remember the participants which are there in this meeting, which are not a member of G20. Directly a question can be made from these countries because this meeting has taken place in the month of June only. Okay, now we have discussed blue economy, responsible AI. Okay, now since the blue economy word is here, I suddenly got reminded of the deep ocean mission. Can any one of you tell me what is the alternate name of this deep ocean mission of the Ministry of Earth Sciences? I hope guys now the voice is audible, it's not low, because I am talking in my full capacity. What is the alternate name of the deep ocean mission? It's guys Samudrayan. Is going to go deep into the ocean and study the minerals. Very good. I hope you have covered the deep ocean mission thoroughly from your government schemes document. In case you haven't done that, please cover the deep ocean mission. It's also one of the flagship schemes of the government of the land. Please cover deep ocean mission, its outlay and everything that is going to be done under this. Okay, so which of the following statements are correct with regards to the market coupling technique? So guys, read the statements. Which of the statement is are correct? So here, option B is the right answer. So market coupling is basically a technique where all the power exchanges bring their electricity, bring their power on one platform, and then they secure a uniform price for the electricity trade. So this is called market coupling. Now let's get into the details of this news. First is that Ministry of Power has requested the Central Electricity Regulatory Commission to initiate the market coupling process for multiple electricity exchanges, which could make price uniform across exchanges. So now what they are going to do, they are going to procure the power on one platform, and then they are going to secure one uniform price for the electricity to be traded across these three exchanges. Out of these three exchanges, which are India Energy Exchange, Hindustan Power Exchange, Power Exchange India, this India Energy Exchange is the mammoth. It acquires 99.9% of the volume traded on all the power exchanges. Okay? So it accounts for this much. So this is the gargantuan, I would say this is the most important exchange having the maximum amount of share in the market. Then we have read market coupling is a model where the bids from all power exchanges in the country is aggregated and matched to discover a uniform price. It means that there will be only one price for the electricity that is to be traded at any point of time through these exchanges. I hope this is clear. One more thing, this agency is in the news, so let me tell you that it is a statutory body under the Electricity Act. It operates under the Electricity Act of 2000. GalaxEye is building the world's first multi-sensor Earth observation satellite. The startup is going to launch its first satellite Drishti mission next year. The satellite consists of a visible spectrum camera providing synchronized imaging that can take multiple images at the same time, which IIT has incubated the GalaxEye. So this GalaxEye is a startup, okay, so which IIT has incubated this startup. So guys, it is IIT Madras. So we have read about the news in the question itself. That's why let's move on to the next question. Which state has launched the guaranteed pension scheme to give 50% of the last drawn salary to eligible employees as pension, including receiving dearness relief on the lines of the central government declaring dearness allowance and dearness relief twice a year. Okay, so basically guaranteed pension scheme has been launched by the Andhra Pradesh government, and now the dearness relief will also be given basically to the eligible employees as pension. So here option D is the right answer. Andhra Pradesh has launched it. Now one more thing, that in the month of March this year only, the government has increased the DA and DR rates for the central government employees. Okay, now do pay attention that from here onwards we are talking about the central government employees, and this news is for the Andhra Pradesh employees, state employees. Okay, now before going into the details of this news, let me just clarify the difference between DA and DR. DA is the dearness allowance that is given to the current employees of the government who are working, and dearness relief is given to the employees who have retired, who are receiving pension at this point of time. Okay. Now, in March 2023, the central government increased the rate by 4% to 42%. Okay, 42% of the basic salary is given as the dearness allowance or relief to the current or the ex-government employees. Okay, and it has been increased with the retrospective effect, that is from January 1st, 2023. And guys, this can become a question for you, all of you, in the examination. Okay, from which date is this percentage implemented? So it is from the retrospective effect. So January 1st, 2023 is the right answer. One more thing, that DA and DR is you can say set twice in a year, in January and July, and the DA or DR is set on the CPI industrial workers. Very important. Okay? Do remember this fact that on CPI industrial workers, on the basis of that, DA and DR is, and 42% is the current rate of DA and DR at the central level. Moving ahead, which state does the Gola river flow in? So it is, guys, Uttarakhand. It flows in a very small area, Nainital mein behta. And recently mining activities have been approved in this river. So that news is not significant, but the river is significant. Okay? So I hope that you know now what is there regarding to the river that you need to remember. Next question is, which of the following institutions has acted as the knowledge partner of Jammu Kashmir, Arunachal Pradesh, Gujarat during the preparation of their district good governance index? So here, guys, Center for Good Governance is the right answer, which is based in Hyderabad. Okay. Now I have one question for all of you. Can anyone tell me that on which river is this Hyderabad city located? This is your task. Do tell me. In the meantime, let me just clarify to you the scenario regarding the District Good Governance Index. Guys, the first ever District Good Governance Index was released by Jammu and Kashmir in January 2022. Okay. Then the second District Good Governance Index was again released by Jammu Kashmir in September 2020. Okay, so it was the D District Good Governance Index 2.0 for Jammu Kashmir. Then the third edition of the District Good Governance Index of Jammu Kashmir has been released in June 2023. That is this month only. We are definitely going to cover that. Okay. One more thing, that in 2023, two other states have also released their District Good Governance Index, and those two states are Arunachal Pradesh and Gujarat. I hope the timeline is clear to all of you. One more thing, चलो वो हम इंडेक्स पढ़ते पढ़ते ही निकालें. The very first thing is that the Department of Administrative Reforms, Public Grievances under the Ministry of Personnel has collaborated with the Arunachal Pradesh government, and we all know Center for Good Governance is the knowledge partner for all the states for District Good Governance Index, which is based on the Good Governance Index at the central level. Okay. 25 districts of Arunachal Pradesh were covered, and 136 data points were there under 65 indicators across 8 sectors. Okay. So the very point of difference in all these district good governance indices is number of districts are different. Secondly, the parameters are also different. The sectors that they have taken are also different. In some cases, you will find in 8 sectors, the state has ranked its districts. In 10 sectors, Jammu Kashmir has ranked its districts. So number of parameters also varies with the state. Okay? So please remember this basic distinction in all the district good governance indices. Now, which all you have to remember. First is Arunachal Pradesh index is important because it has been released in July. Gujarat is important. It has been released in May, I guess, 2023. So both of them have been released this year. And the District Good Governance Index 3.0, that is of Jammu and Kashmir, again was released in June. So these three indices are important. Remember them. Now, what data do you need to remember? This data, which has released total parameters and the sectors, because you will find that the sectors overlap. Okay, agriculture you will find in all the states, commerce in all the states. Okay, so similarly you will find the similar sectors. Okay, 1 or 2 sectors would be added or deleted in these states. तो सेक्टर्स याद रख लोगे, इसमें कोई इतनी बड़ी बात नहीं है. As far as the district's ranking is concerned, so in my opinion, the examiner would not go into such depth that it would ask you the district which has topped in one of these categories in Arunachal Pradesh. Okay. So you can clearly skip that. But yes, if you see the composite ranking, so here Namsai, West Siang and Tawang, these are the 3 districts which have won the first prize in these 3 different divisions. इतना याद रखना आपको जरूरी है, ज़्यादा आपको याद रखने की जरूरत नहीं है from the Arunachal Pradesh. Moving on to the Gujarat index. So 33 districts, again the number of districts is different. So one more question is coming from this particular index is that how many districts are there in Gujarat, how many districts are there in Arunachal Pradesh. Number of districts. Parameters, important, 126 data points, 65 indicators, 10 sectors. Again, it has also taken 10 sectors. You can clearly see the 10 sectors. And overall ranking. Now here you can clearly see the division-wise ranking has not been given. It's 1, 2, 3 ranking. So just remember the first ranker from this. Now the first DGGI for Jammu Kashmir was released in January 2022, and this was India's first District Good Governance Index. Second one, I have already told you. In the third District Good Governance Index, Jammu District has topped. It is followed by Samba District at 2nd place and Srinagar at 3rd place. Okay, 58 indicators from the 10 sectors have been used. You can clearly see the 10 sectors. Next question is, on which river is the Polavaram project being developed? So guys, Godavari river is the right answer. This is the exact location of Polavaram project. This is the border between Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, and this is Godavari river on which the Polavaram project is being developed, and you can clearly see it is near to the mouth of this river. Now let's know a little bit about Godavari river, because this is in the news. Any question can be asked from you. So guys, first thing is that Godavari originates from the Triambakeshwar hills in Nashik. Okay, and here only Nashik mein hi Kumbh Mela is also organized. then you can clearly see that it goes from these many states, and it is the longest river in the peninsular region. That is why it is also called the Dakshin Ganga. Very basic fact we all know. And here in the Bay of Bengal, it has its mouth. Now let's know the main projects that are being developed on the Godavari River. First is Polavaram Irrigation Project, which is being developed in Andhra Pradesh. We have just seen that. In Telangana, we have Shriram Sagar Project Stage 2 and Kaleshwaram Project. Both of them have been almost completed. This is, I guess, in the ongoing stage, but this is definitely completed and inaugurated. Kaleshwaram, guys, is at present the world's largest multi-stage lift irrigation project, and again it is on the Godavari River. So that is all. One more thing, that Godavari River Management Board under the Ministry of Jal Shakti is already there, and this data has been taken from there. Now on this particular website, you will find many projects on the Godavari River. You can check them out if you are curious to know which projects are there on this particular river. Just go to this link, check out the major projects which are being developed on this. Major hai, minor projects are not important. Major projects check kar lo agar man kar raha hai to. Otherwise you can skip that also, because the projects which are in the news, I have already told you that. Next question is, recently India, France and UAE conducted their first ever trilateral maritime partnership exercise in the Gulf of Oman. Identify the countries which share the maritime border in the Gulf of Oman. So here is the Gulf of Oman. This is the Strait of Hormuz. Okay. So which countries share the border? So it is, guys, Iran, UAE and Oman. I hope, guys, you are able to see the map. Okay, so the map is still not clear. Okay, so now the map is visible to all of you. So let me just show you. This is, guys, Gulf of Oman. This is Iran. This is Oman, and this is UAE. You can clearly see in the Gulf of Oman we have three of these countries only. And if you say Saudi Arabia or Pakistan are also in the vicinity of the Gulf of Oman, then it would be a wrong statement, guys, because the border of Gulf of Oman is this much only, and here we can clearly see countries maritime border in the Gulf of Oman, and Strait of Hormuz, one of the most important straits in the world and the busiest one. Which company has developed the tactical land radio for the Indian Army? So this, guys, as strong tech. Okay. So one more thing, that this contract was given through the IDEX. IDEX is Innovation for Defense Excellence. I hope you know about this platform, which was launched by the Ministry of Defense in 2018. And the basic purpose of this platform was to give out the contracts to the startups, to the industries, for developing the technologies for defense. Okay, for military forces of our nation. Okay, so it was the second procurement of the Indian Army through this platform, and that is why it is also important. This IDEX initiative is in the news again. Okay. Now this was launched in 2018 to engage the startups to contribute to the defense sector. IDEX is funded and managed by the Defense Innovation Organization. So we have the DIO, and under this DIO we have IDEX. Okay, that is Innovation for Defense Excellence, and it basically collaborates or calls the startups to develop the technology and deliver it to the military forces. Okay, so this is how the entire thing is being executed. So the Defense Innovation Organization's executive arm is this IDEX. One more thing about this Defense Innovation Organization is that it was created under the Section 8 of companies. That is, it is a not-for-profit company. That is all regarding this. I hope that much is clear. Next question is, Microsoft India and Air Jaldi have signed a 3-year MOU to provide internet connectivity to the people in unserved areas. The MOU aims to expand the Air Jaldi network into 3 new states, namely Telangana, Chhattisgarh and Odisha, with an increase in the number of network locations from 40 to in 12 states. Anand Maheshwari, who is the president of Microsoft India, is currently acting as the president of which of these organizations? CII, FICCI, IBA, IAMAI, that is Internet and Mobile Association of India, and NASSCOM. These are in the options. What is the right answer? The right answer is option E, NASSCOM. And let me inform you that this is a very latest appointment, I guess in the month of March or April. This appointment was made. So do remember, Anand Maheshwari is the current president of NASSCOM, and he is also the president of Microsoft India, and this MOU which has taken place between Microsoft and Air Jaldi. When was the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights created? 1966, guys, is the right answer. Okay. Now, let me tell you why this is in the news. Sri Lanka, yes, our maritime neighbor, is misusing this particular treaty, or rather an act which it has enacted on the lines of this particular treaty. Okay, so that is the brief I have given you. Let's dig deep into this news. So this is, guys, first of all, a human rights treaty, okay, which aims to protect the human and civil and political rights of the citizens. Okay. In the UNGA, it was adopted in 1966, but it came into force in 1976. The date is not significant. Currently, it has 173 parties and 6 more signatories without ratification. I hope all of you are aware what a party is. Party is basically the country which has ratified a particular treaty, and after ratification, that country becomes a party to the treaty. Generally, the party means that in the context of the treaties and conventions. This ICCPR is a multilateral treaty that commits nations to respect the civil and political rights of the individual. Okay, now Sri Lanka in 2007 enacted an act, which is the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights Act, and now Sri Lanka is misusing this act to curb the freedom of expression, and recently it has arrested one of its stand-up comedians for some alleged remarks on Buddhist tradition, Buddhist religion, and a Buddhist cult. That, of course, is not relevant for all of you. I'm just giving you the background so that you understand what is happening and you are in a better position to remember that. Now, one more thing, that Sri Lanka has enacted this particular act. So you should be curious, when did Sri Lanka join this particular treaty? So Sri Lanka joined it in 1980. Next question is, the world's largest sand island, which has been known as Fraser Island for centuries, is getting rid of its colonial title. The name of the island has now been restored to its old indigenous name, Kigari. Which country owns this island? So guys, this island is owned by Australia. This is the location of this island, okay, Kigari or Fraser Island. Now guys, one more thing that I hope all of you are aware, that we have a Commonwealth of Nations. Commonwealth of Nations, which consists of 56 nations which were once a colony of the British Empire. Okay. So India is also a member of the Commonwealth of Nations. Australia is also a member of the Commonwealth of Nations. So do remember this thing. And one more thing, that the Commonwealth heads of the government, that is the summit of the Commonwealth, is going to take place in Samoa in 2024. Do remember this fact as well. One more thing, that last year Commonwealth had declared the current year 2023 as the year of the youth. One more thing, that Commonwealth realms. Now Commonwealth of Nation is a, you can say, is a formal grouping is like an organization, not a complete organization like IMF or World Bank, but it is like an international forum. But this Commonwealth realms is not a forum or any kind of grouping. It is basically uh, it is the name given to all the countries which accept the British monarchy as the head of their state as well. Okay, so presently King Charles III is the head of the state for all these nations, which include Australia, which includes New Zealand, Papua New Guinea, and UK. UK is already there. Canada is also there. So these are very big developed nations, not Papua New Guinea, of course, but Australia, Canada, New Zealand. These are the developed nations, which also accept British monarchy as the head of their state. But the news is that New Zealand recently announced that it wishes to become a republic. So that is also. Next question is International Energy Agency has released the renewable energy market update. I hope guys you are enjoying the session. Give me a thumbs up if all of you are enjoying it. Or should I ask more? Should I ask more questions from all of you to make it more engaging and interesting? Okay, thank you so much, Tapan. But what about the rest of the people? 50 people are watching me and I have only got one thumbs up. Okay, ask questions also. Okay, so be prepared. International Energy Agency has released the Renewable Energy Market Update Outlook for 2023 and 2024. Considering this, identify the correct statement from the options given below. So you have the three statements. As per the report, the global renewable capacity additions are set to increase by 107 gigawatts, the largest absolute increase ever, to more than 440 gigawatts in 2023. Global renewable capacity additions could reach 550 gigawatt in 2024. International Energy Agency is a Paris-based autonomous intergovernmental organization established in 1974, and uh, it analyzes the data on the entire global energy sector. So which of these statements are correct? So here guys, all the statements are correct with regards to this report. Okay, now tell me what is the target of India regarding the renewable energy. I'm not talking about the 2030 agenda. Okay, okay, you can tell me the 2030 agenda as well. Okay, 500 gigawatt by 2030. The volume is at maximum. I can't speak louder than this. I'll try to speak a little louder. Moving ahead, which organization has signed an agreement with Indian Council for Agriculture Research to guide farmers enrolled on its Kisan store on scientific cultivation of different crops and help them achieve optimum yield and income? So here guys, what is the right answer? The right answer here is Amazon India. The next question is, which of the following measures is correct with regards to the priority sector lending targets of the Urban Cooperative Bank? So here you have been given different statements. Read the statements and tell me the right answer. Okay, so here guys, option C is the correct answer. Let me tell you why. That the reason is that the deadline to achieve the PSL target of 60%, which was earlier March 2023, was extended to March 2024. So it's not 50. Now recently, Reserve Bank of India has given certain relaxations to the urban cooperative banks. Now this number was there in the headlines of many news articles. Therefore, the number can be asked from you. Okay, so do remember 1,514 urban cooperative banks are there in India, for which the framework was released by the Reserve Bank of India. So the first relaxation that RBI has given is that the UCBs can now open more branches, and those branches would be either 10% of the previous operational branches, or the maximum of 5 branches. Okay, for example, if a bank has 20 branches working in the previous financial year, so the maximum it can open is 2 branches, that is 10%, or if it wants 5 branches. Okay, so 10% or maximum 5 branches. But in case the 10% is higher than 5, then obviously they have to comply by 10%. Okay? That means maximum 5 branches they can open. Now, UCBs can also undertake the one-time settlement with their defaulting borrowers, just like the commercial banks. Cooperative banks can also do the technical write-off. Now, what is technical write-off? I hope you have learned about it in RBI 247, but let me just give you a glimpse of it so that you revise it in your mind. Technical write-off is basically an accounting procedure in which the banks write off the NPAs from their accounts. The NPAs still remain in the borrower's accounts, okay, which the banks prepare separately in their ledger. So technical write-off is written off from their books officially, but they have to still recover it. This does not mean that the banks would not recover the money they have given to the borrowers. It's just that for the accounting purposes, is written off from the book. That is the meaning of technical write-off. Next is that RBI has extended the timeline of UCBs to achieve the PSL targets by 2 years, that is up to March 31st, 2026. The deadline to achieve the PSL targets of 60% was extended to March 31st, 2024. UCBs would not be required to contribute to the Rural Infrastructure Development Fund, which is handled by NABARD, okay, or other eligible funds for the shortfall of PSL targets for 2020 to 2021 or FY22. Okay, for these 2 years, the UCBs have been given a relaxation by RBI for meeting their shortfall. Okay, UCBs shall contribute to RIDF and other eligible funds against their shortfall for the prescribed targets from March 31st, 2023. Okay, so basically the relaxation has been given to 2022 to 2023. For this particular year, they do not have to contribute anything to the RIDF fund. Okay. So in case of contribution has already been made by any UCB towards the PSL shortfall in FY21 or FY22, that shortfall will be used to meet the shortfall of FY23. And if there is excess deposit over and above the shortfall, that deposit will be returned to the UCB so that they can expand their operation. Identify the correct order of countries in descending order with respect to the quantum of digital payments occurred in 2022 as per the data given by the My Government India. Now pay attention to this thing. This data has not been given by UN. This data has not been given by the Ministry of Commerce or Ministry of Corporate Affairs or NPCI or any other ministry that is supposed to give such kind of data. This is given by My Government India. Okay, so definitely this data is unique in itself, firstly, and secondly, since it is released in the month of June, that is why it is important for you to know about it. Okay, that's why we are covering it. Now in the descending order from the biggest to the smallest. So India has the largest number of digital payments in 2022. Then Brazil, China, Thailand, South Korea. So here are the top 5 countries. 89.5 million transactions were done in 2022. Do remember this number. Then Brazil, China, Thailand, South Korea. Numbers are not that important. Order is important. India's number is important. Moving ahead, which has become the first oil marketing company in India to test the E27 fuel in line with the roadmap for ethanol blending in India by 2025, which aims to promote the adoption of ethanol blending in gasoline. So here guys, HPCL is the right answer. Now this is the first company in India which is testing E27 fuel. We are currently at the stage of E20, 20% ethanol blending in petrol. Okay, so we are at that stage and this is testing E27 fuel. So that is a different thing and that is something that is making it first oil company in India. Now the roadmap is, the plan is to achieve 20% ethanol blended gasoline by April 2023 and make it widespread in usage by April 2025. HPCL is also having its own R&D center where HPCL is researching on the scope of biofuels, and the R&D center of HPCL is located in Bangalore. Who is the chief coordinator of W20 Summit 2023, which is Women's 20? So Dharitri Patnaik. Dharitri Patnaik is the right answer. So the Women 20 meeting took place at Mahabalipuram in Chennai. The theme of this summit was Women-led Development to Transform, Thrive and Transcend. The chief coordinator was Dharitri Patnaik. Recently, Union Home Minister Amit Shah announced 3 major schemes worth over 8,000 crores to cover the modernization of fire brigade services in all states, flood mitigation in 7 major cities, and prevention of landslides in 17 states. How much amount has been fixed for preventing landslides in 17 states? So 825 crore has been specifically set for preventing the landslides. Out of the 8,000 crores, 5,000 crore will be given for the expansion of the fire brigade service, okay, and to mitigate the dangers of flood in order to help the services, the mitigation or disaster relief services for the flood in urban areas. 2,500 crore rupees have been given and it will focus on 7 major cities: Mumbai, Chennai, Kolkata, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Ahmedabad and Pune. To deal with the landslide in 17 states, 825 crore rupees have been given. Which railway station has been awarded the Eat Right Station certification by FSSAI for providing high quality and nutritious food to passengers in June 2023? So here guys, Guwahati railway station is the newcomer in the list of the Eat Right stations. India is set to host the prestigious Miss World pageant, which is going to be its 71st edition only by the end of this year. The last time the pageant was held in 1996 in Bangalore. How many times has India won this prestigious pageant? Okay, not organized, it's won. So India has won this pageant for 6 times. Okay. So Sini Shetty, the Miss World of World 2022, is going to represent India at the 2023 edition, and these are the 6 winners of the Miss World pageant. Okay, so the first one is Rita Faria, then Ashwarya Rai, Dinah Hayden, Chukta Mukhe, Priyanka Chopra, Manushi Chillar. She is the latest one to win the Miss World pageant. Identify the incorrect statement from the options given below. So guys, read the statement. Guys, 80 questions are there which we are going to discuss in detail. So here, what is the wrong statement? The wrong statement is option E. Let's discuss the news in detail so that you will get to know the question itself. Minister of Fisheries and Animal Husbandry Purushottam Rupala and Minister of Ports Sabananda Sonowal laid the foundation stone for the modernization of the Cochin fishing harbour. Okay, so we have this particular project, and for the project 169.17 crore rupees have been sanctioned. This is the distribution of the funding. So from the Matsya Sampada Yojana, 50 crores will be given. Sagarmala se 50 crore rupees will be taken, and in the public-private partnership, 55.84 crore rupees will be taken. Under the Sagarmala program of the ministry, 802 projects are being developed at the cost of 5.5 lakh crores, and the target is to complete these projects by 2035. A very important stage. Out of this, 202 projects have been completed. A total of 29 projects will be completed under PPP model. Additionally, 32 PPP projects are being implemented. There are more than 200 projects under construction, which will be completed in 2 years' time. Under the Sagar Mala program, 9 fishing harbors worth 620 crores have been completed. And modernization of 5 fishing harbors is being done at a cost of 550 crores. Next question is, which state organized the Kisan Kalyan Mahakumbh 2023? So Madhya Pradesh is the right answer. Okay, this Kisan Kalyan Mahakumbh has been organized on the Mohanpura Dam on Nevaj River in Madhya Pradesh. Okay. And this is the place, these are the locations where the actual Mahakumbh takes place. Okay. So we have Haridwar, Allahabad, Ujjain, Nashik. At these 4 places, the Kumbh Mela is organized. Which state has announced a monthly pension of 10,000 for the Padma Shri, Padma Bhushan and Padma Vibhushan awardees of the state? So here guys, Haryana is the right answer. Gandak river is the tributary of which river? So Ganga is the right answer. Los Angeles too has recently partnered with the Bihar government for the protection of ghadial in this particular river, Gandak river. Now where is the river? So this is guys the river Gandak. Okay. And it is the left bank tributary of Ganga. I hope guys you know that how do we classify left bank or right bank tributary. Do you know? If the answer is yes, then do tell me how do we identify whether it is a left bank or a right bank tributary of any river. In the meantime, you can clearly see that these are different rivers. Which are the tributaries of Yamuna and Ganga. And here is the place, you can clearly see, here is the Dev Prayag where Alaknanda is meeting your Bhagirathi and it is becoming Ganga. And at Prayagraj, Ganga and Yamuna meet each other, okay? From the source, if you stand at the source and you look at the mouth of the river, from that perspective, we classify a river's tributary either a left bank or a right bank. Moving ahead, identify the incorrect statement from the options given below. So the first statement is that the least developed country category was established by UNGA in 1971, the year in which Bangladesh got its independence. Membership is revised every 3 years based on the following factors: average gross national income, human asset income, economic vulnerability. In 2021, UNG adopted the resolution to graduate Bangladesh, now People's Democratic Republic, and Nepal from the LDC category. Bangladesh, Nepal, Laos are going to graduate from this list in 2027. According to UN, per capita income of $1,230 is one of the requirements for transitioning into a developing nation. So which of these is incorrect? So here guys, option D is incorrect because the year is 2026, not 2027. Do remember that in 1971, the year in which Bangladesh got its independence, this least developed country criteria was created, and now the Bangladesh is going to get out of this criteria by 2026. Now, along with Bangladesh, Nepal and Laos are also going to get out of this criteria. At present, it has 46 countries, and these are the parameters for classifying the country into an LDC. Okay, so we have read these all statements in the question itself. One more thing, that Bangladesh aims to become a middle income country by 2021 and a developed country by 2040. Okay, so these are the visions of Bangladesh. UN Development Program launched its third cohort of 4 ocean innovators. The cohort includes members from dash dash, etc. So which countries have being chosen as the ocean innovators by the UNDP? So here Malaysia, Madagascar, Thailand and Turkey are the right answer. These ocean innovators are going to develop technologies for enabling the sustainable ocean. Recently, the Department of Administrative Reforms and Public Grievances released the Centralized Public Grievance Redressal and Monitoring System monthly report for the state's UT for May 2023. What is the rank of Assam Andaman Nicobar, Jharkhand and Chhattisgarh in this index. From the options, you can clearly see that all of these states rank at one position only. They have all of them have the same position. What is that position? Second position. So let me just clarify one thing here, that we have grievance redressal index, or rather a report of this particular department. We have three reports. First report is for the central ministries, okay, for the month of May itself. Second report is for the states and UTs, again for the month of May 2023. And third report is the grievance redressal index for the year 2022. Okay, so we are going to read all these three things this video. First is the report for the month of May for central ministry. Okay, so here Department for Agriculture and Farmer Welfare and UIADI, that is Unique Identification Authority of India, the top-notch organization responsible for Aadhaar, are the top performers in grievance redressal within the grouping. Then Department of Legal Affairs and Land Resources are the top performers in Group B. And we are talking about the central ministries. This is the 13th report for the central ministries by this department. Next is the monthly report for the states and UTs. Okay, and it is the 10th report on states and UTs. Northeast mein Sikkim is the first, UT mein Lakshadweep is the first, states with more than 15,000 grievances. Uttar Pradesh is the first, with states with more than 15,000 grievances. Telangana is the first. I don't know why they have given the same kind of category twice and they have ranked different states here. I mean, this is, guys, the release of PIB, and this table has been taken from there only. So here you can clearly see rank 1, rank 2 and rank 3, which you have obviously have to remember. Now for the complete year's data, complete year's grievance redressal index, I'm going to teach that in the later part of this video, because I have made a separate question on that and I would like to cater to that particular index through that question only. Okay? So just wait for that index. Now coming to this question, which bank has launched I Am Adyar? Adyar is me campaign. So yeah, guys, Federal Bank is the right answer. Your perfect banking partner is the tagline of this bank, and this is the first of its kind in the industry of banking. Okay, where a community-specific campaign has been launched. Next question is, identify the correct statement with regards to the Institute for Development and Research in Banking Technology. And I hope you can clearly read out the statement. Quickly read the statements. Tell me the right answer. Okay. So the fourth is less than 15,000 and the fifth category was more than 15,000. I got it. All of these statements are correct about this Institute for Development and Research in Banking Technology. What is the news? The news is that Indian Banks Association and ICAI have partnered to launch a common balance confirmation platform. Okay, so this platform is going to help in providing the external confirmation of balances for helping the statutory auditor in the audit of their financial statement. The task for development of this common balance confirmation platform was given to the PSB Alliance Private Limited and the Institute for Development and Research in Banking Technology. And from there, this question has made. I hope so. Now you have understood the importance of digging deeper into the news. The PSB Alliance is a joint venture umbrella entity created and held exclusively by the 12 public sector banks. It is part of the larger public sector banks set up in India. So it's just that it is an alliance of the 12 public sector banks, and we have read about the Institute for Development and Research in Banking Technology. IBA के बारे में I have already given you a knowledge nugget in the Spotlight magazine. I hope you have read that. Now on that note, quickly tell me, when was the IBA created and who is the current chief of Indian Banks Association? Quickly tell me the right answers here. With which of the following institutions has SIDBI collaborated for Mission Evolve? So here Niti Aayog, World Bank, Korean Economic Development Cooperation Fund, only AB and ABC. So here the right answer is option E. With all these organizations, SIDBI has collaborated for Mission Evolve. Evolve stands for Electric Vehicle Operations and Lending for Vibrant Eco. So, guys, Niti Aayog is going to provide the technical support to SIDBI. Financial support will be given by the World Bank and the Korean World Bank Partnership Facility and the Korean Economic Development Cooperation Fund. So, we have in all 4 partners of SIDBI in this particular initiative. One is Niti Aayog, then World Bank, Korean Economic Development Cooperation Fund, and a combined facility of Korea and World Bank Partnership Facility. So do remember this fact. How many life insurance companies are operating in India as of June 2023? So 26 life insurance companies are operating. Recently, the insurance regulator has given the permission to Go Digit Life Insurance Limited to carry the life insurance business in India. So with this latest addition, the number of insurers has increased to 26 in India, and this particular company is planning to launch its IPO. According to OECD's latest economic outlook, which country will witness the highest GDP growth rate in 2023 among the major economies? You will be glad to know it is India. India is going to witness the highest growth at 6% in 2023 and 7% in 2024. And clearly you can see that we are talking about the major economies. Among the major economies, India has the highest growth rate. Who has been, okay, one more thing, that the world's growth rate is 2.7% for 2023 and 2.9% for 2024. Do remember this is. Who has been appointed as the CEO of UIDAI? For 2 purposes, this organization is in the news. First is for the Grievance Redressal Index and second is for the new CEO. Okay, so do remember that under which act this was created. Can you tell me under which act this UIDAI was created? Okay, coming back to this thing, Amit Agarwal is the right answer. When is the World Accreditation Day observed? So here guys, June 9 is the right answer. Accreditation supporting the future of global trade is the theme for this. Which system from India has won the UITP award, one of the world's most coveted prize in public transport? So here guys, best is the right answer. Now best is the best is Birahan Mumbai Electric Supply and Transport, and it has won the UITP award. And this particular award is one of the best awards in the public transportation. Okay? And this best has won the award in climate and health category, and it was one of the finalists in the public and urban transport strategy category. The city will host the Squash World 2023 Cup, which is going to be the 4th edition. So obviously, it is India, Chennai. So this will be held in. Okay, one more thing, that India has never won a Squash World Cup title. Australia won the inaugural edition in 1996, while England emerged as the champion in second edition. But India has unfortunately never won the Squash World Cup. But let's see what is going to happen in this edition taking. Where was the Global DPI Summit organized? So here guys, Pune is the right answer. DPI is Digital Public Information, and you must have heard about India Stack, which consists of technologies like UPI, CoWIN, Ayushman Bharat Digital Health Card. So all of these are comprised of our India Stack. So the world and different countries are right now vying for adopting these techniques. And in light of that, this particular summit becomes very important, which was conducted as a side event of the 3rd meeting of G20 Digital Economy Working Group in Pune. Okay. During the summit, India signed an MOU with 4 countries: Armenia, Sierra Leone, Suriname, Antigua and Barbuda, for sharing the India Stack. and the global DPI exhibition was also organized. Which countries' researchers have been awarded under the Women Involvement in Science and Engineering Research Program, which is PFISER program, in June 2020. So Germany is the right answer. 10 researchers from India and 3 from Germany are going to visit others. They are going to collaborate for R&D. Which company has received the contract to develop state-of-the-art naval airfield integrated security system and naval anti-drone system for the Indian Navy? So here guys, Bharat Electronics Limited is the right answer. One more thing, that they have been inaugurated at INS Dega, which is at present located in Visakhapatnam. Which edition of the equivalent exercise was conducted by the Indian Navy, Indian Army and Maldives National Defense Force? So guys, it is the 12th. Equivalent is equivalent means things. In which country has World Bank launched its first dedicated road safety project of South Asia? So it is in Bangladesh. Okay, and it is the first road safety project in South Asia, and that funding has been given by World Bank to the Bangladesh nation, and it will help to work the road safety. As far as we talk about India's road safety target, so India has set the target to reduce road accident deaths by 50% by 2024. Integrated Road Accident Database Project is an initiative of the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, which will improve the road safety of the nation. IIT Madras has developed this particular project. UN General Assembly has adopted a draft resolution introduced by India to establish a memorial wall in the UN headquarters to honor fallen peacekeepers. How many countries proposed the resolution along with India? So here guys, 17 is the right answer. If you see, a total of 18 countries give this proposal to UNGA to have a wall for the peacekeepers, and with India we have 17 other countries. That's a very big match. One more thing, that UN ambassador of India is Ruchira Kamboj. Which new sectors have been included in the multi-sectoral collaboration of BIMSTEC during the recent ministerial meeting of the Bay of Bengal initiative for multi-sectoral technical and economic cooperation in Bangkok? So here blue economy, mountain economy and poverty alleviation have been added. Now you would be amazed to know about this thing. Now let me just explain to you. First of all, a ministerial meeting was organized in Bangkok. Okay? Now, during the ministerial meeting, 3 sectors were added into the multi-sectoral collaboration. Okay? So, guys, this is the multi-sectoral collaboration. So, Bangladesh has been given the responsibility to take care of trade, investment and development, to give the best practices which it has adopted in these segments. Okay, and the subsector is blue economy, which is again given under the leadership of Bangladesh. Bhutan ko diya gaya hai environment and climate change, and the subsector that has been introduced in this particular meeting is mountain economy, again under the leadership of Bhutan. India has been given the responsibility of security. Subsectors are counter-terrorism, transnational crime, disaster management and energy. Myanmar has been given the sectoral responsibility of agriculture and food security. So agriculture, fisheries, livestock are the subsectors in which all these countries, basically guys, in the sectors and subsectors, these countries are going to share the best possible practices which they are adopting, okay, so that they can help their neighbors in this particular forum. Nepal has been given the responsibility of people to people connect. So here culture, tourism, poverty alleviation, the main agenda that has been added here. People to people contact, all of these are the subsectors. Then Sri Lanka has been given science, technology and innovation. Subsectors are technology, health, human resource development. Thailand is connected. BIMSTEC, guys, was created in 1977 through Bangkok Declaration. Current secretariat is in Dhaka. Tenzin Lekpal from Bhutan is the Secretary General. Which organization released the World Slavery Index? WFF is the right answer. Walk Free Foundation has released the Global Slavery Index, Prevalence, Vulnerability, and Government Response. These are the three categories. Okay. So first of all, India has this much population, which comes up to be 1.3 billion of it, which they have taken 1.3 billion as population, and $6,522 as our GDP per capita, purchasing power parity basically. So India has 8 in the prevalence per 1,000 people. Okay, you can say that 8 people are suffering from this slavery situation out of 1,000 people according to this index. 56 are vulnerable out of 100, and 46 is the government response, or you can say the score of India out of 100 is 46 in this particular government response, 56 in this vulnerability parameter. Okay. Now, as per this report, an estimated 50 million people, that is 5 crore people, were living in situations of modern slavery. There are 11 million people who are exploited in India, 5 million in China, 1.8 million in Russia. Okay? So 11 million people are exploited in China, in India, whereas only 5 million people are exploited in China. That's a bit of a contrast. Okay, moving ahead, which has become the first public sector bank to introduce an IVR-based UPI solution, UPI 123 Pay. So guys, PNB is the right answer. Okay, now you can use this voice response to conduct the UPI transaction. Which company has launched the Smart Wealth Advantage Growth PAR plan, a non-linked participating individual life insurance saving plan? So Max Life Insurance Company is the right answer. Where and when will India host the 2025 IIAS annual conference? That is International Institute of Administrative Sciences. So 2025 Kochi is the right answer. India will host this International Institute of Administrative Sciences annual conference in Kochi 2025. The theme is Next Generation Administrative Reforms, Empowering Citizens Reaching the Last Mile. The 2025 conference would be attended by 30 member countries, 18 national sections, 50 universities. And one more thing, that India's Department of Administrative Reforms and Public Grievances under the Ministry of Personnel, the same department which has released the grievance redressal report, which we have just read. So this became a member of the International Institute of Administrative Sciences in 1998. Ministry of Science and Tech has launched Vaishvik Bharatiya Vaigyanik Fellowship Program to connect Indian STEM diaspora with Indian higher educational institutions. How many knowledge verticals have been identified under this initiative? So here guys, 18 verticals have been identified. So basically the diaspora of India in STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics and management, they will be connected with the Indian higher education institutions and they will impart their experience and knowledge to the students. Eligibility is that it is awarded to outstanding scientists, technologists of Indian origin who are engaged in research activities in their respective countries. Under it, 75 Weber Fellows will be invited to work in 18 identified verticals, knowledge verticals. They will identify Indian institutions for collaboration, spend 2 months in a year for a maximum of 3. These all facts, guys, are important. Benefits are fellowship will include fellowship grant of 4 lakh per month, international and domestic travel accommodation and contingent. All of this will be funded by the government of India just for the knowledge that they have. Okay? So knowledge is really power, guys, according to Michael Foucault and in the present world as well. Especially when we are in this era of artificial intelligence, not only the knowledge of the textbook, but the analysis of that knowledge is important because that is something that would differentiate you from an AI. What is the name of the collection of courses launched by the central government to provide training to the Mission Karam Yogi beneficiaries? So Dakshita is the right answer. First of all, this Dakshita has been launched on the iGoat platform of the Karam Yogi mission. And secondly, this Dakshita will have 18 courses in it. So I got his integrated government online training platform. Which institution has approved $150 million loan to support the Resilient Kerala program to strengthen Kerala's preparedness for natural disasters, climate change impact, and disaster outbreak? So here, guys, World Bank is the right answer. So IBRD has given this loan, which is the one giving the loan out to the developing nation. Okay? Other part of the World Bank that gives the loans to the least developed countries is IDA, International Development Association. Gives soft loan, more soft loan. Okay? It has a maturity of 14 years, including a grace period of 6. Loan is in addition to the earlier investment of $125 million, and overall support is expected to help 50 lakh people from the impact of. Which military force organized the Jule Ladakh, Hello Ladakh, an outreach program in Ladakh to increase awareness about the service in the UT? So here, guys, Navy has organized this initiative in Ladakh. Okay, Ladakh is purely landlocked, but still Navy has organized this initiative there to create awareness about the naval services so that the youth there can also be converted into the naval forces. They can also be given an opportunity to know about Indian Navy, and if they want, they can also apply for the naval service. Recently, UN has adopted a historic biodiversity beyond national jurisdiction treaty, which is also known as the High Seas Treaty, by nearly 200 nations after 15 years of discussions. The agreement will be open for signature at UN headquarters in New York for 2 years from September 20, 2023, the day after the 2023 SDG summit. We have already read about it. How many countries ratification is needed to implement the treaty? By 60 countries need to ratify this biodiversity beyond national jurisdiction treaty so that it can be enforced. Okay. Now, one more thing, that this treaty is also called as High Seas Treaty. We have one more treaty, that is UN Convention on the Law of Seas. Okay. So this particular treaty also defines the borders in the sea. Okay. So there is one category of border which is also called high. So it has basically, let me just tell you the division of UN clause. So territorial waters, so I hope that now you know the 5 categories which are given by the UN clause, which is also called the Geneva Convention on the Law of the Sea. Okay, do remember this fact as well. So in it, we have a category of high seas as well. So please do not confuse that this UN clause treaty is also talking about the high seas, and it is also talking about the high seas, but these two are different treaties. Okay, so do remember this. Which company has launched the first ever passive fund on Nifty Microcap 250 index? So here, guys, Motilal Oswal, AMC is the right answer. Quickly tell me the difference between active and passive fund. Active and passive mutual fund, because here the mutual fund is being an active fund or a passive fund. Generally, we talk about active investor or passive investor, but here we are talking about the active and passive mutual fund. Who has been chosen as the chief of the research and analysis wing? So here Ravi Sinha is the right answer. Who was the first Indian woman to get a PhD degree in a scientific discipline? So Kamla Sohoni is the right answer. Okay. So where will the 37th National Games be held? So Goa is the right answer, at the Shyama Prasad Mukherjee Stadium in Goa. The games will be held. Very good. So Ishani has given the right answer. Active funds are those mutual funds which are actively managed by the fund manager. They actively invest in the equity and debt of the company, whereas passive funds track a particular index. Delhi 9. Where will the G20 Labor Engagement Summit be held? So it will be held in Patna. Which state has approved the Cooperative Policy 2023 in June to create jobs in the sector? So Madhya Pradesh is the right answer. Which state celebrates the Bihu festival? So Arunachal Pradesh, guys, is the right answer. This is the community or tribe which celebrates this festival. Quickly tell me the name of this tribe. Which tribe is it? So it's Tangsa tribe. Which state launched the Polytechnic Chalo Abhiyan to create employment for youth by connecting them with technical education? So here Uttar Pradesh is the right answer. इसको पढ़ के कुछ ध्यान आ रहा है आप लोगों को? We also have a school Chalo Abhiyan, okay, which aims to increase the spread of the education in the state, and this is the Polytechnic Chalo. Which country will receive INS Kirpan from India as a gift? So Vietnam is going to receive this ship. DRDO and Indian Navy have successfully showcased the transfer of command and control capabilities of the Tapas unmanned aerial vehicle recently. On which Indian naval ship was the UAV showcased? So it was showcased at INS Subhadra, which is at present located at Karwar Naval Base in Karnataka. And the most important thing about this base is that on this base we are developing a project Seaport. So at the Karwar Naval Base in Karnataka, this INS Subhadra is located, and on this particular ship, the Tapas was demonstrated. Now, Project Seabird is being implemented since 2005, and after the completion of this Project Seabird, the Karwar Naval Base will become Asia's largest naval base. Do remember, after the completion of Project Seabird, it will become the largest naval base in Asia. And this Karwar Naval Base is also known as INS Kadamba. Okay, so these two names are used for the same naval base. To remember. For which foreign country has India announced the HIT formula for promoting diplomatic relations and growth? So here, guys, Nepal is the right answer. So HIT is highways, developing the highways, information, internet ways, or the information corridors. Then we have transportation. So these are the three areas on which India and Nepal are going to strengthen their diplomatic relations by working together. What is the news at present? The news is that India, Nepal, and Bangladesh have finalized the first of its kind tripartite power trade agreement. Now, do remember it's the draft at present. So the agreement has been finalized. Now, what will happen? Nepal will produce electricity. That electricity will be supplied to Bangladesh by using the grid of India. Okay, Nepal and Bangladesh do not share the border directly, although it seems so in this picture, but they do not. Okay, so the grid of India will be used to channelize or supply the electricity from Nepal to Bangladesh. Okay, so this is how the trade is going to take place. Satria first is the telecommunications satellite of which country? So Indonesia is the right. Recently, it has been launched on the SpaceX rocket. SpaceX ने launch किया था. All India Consumer Price Index for agricultural laborers and rural laborers for the month of May 2023 stands at this and this points respectively as per the data released by the Ministry of Labour and Employment. Which year was used as the base year for calculating these values for the month of May? 1986 to 87. One more thing, guys, do remember that the monthly data is not that important, so you can clearly skip these data points, but remember this thing, that the basics can be asked. Okay, and this amounts to basic static information. Okay, so do remember that 1986 and 87 was taken as the base for calculating the CPI agriculture labor and rural labor, and the value was. Now we have the CPI for agricultural laborers, for rural laborers, for industrial workers, and we have all India CPI. These three CPIs are prepared by the Labour Bureau under the Ministry of Labour Okay, Bureau under the Ministry of Labor and Employment, and this is prepared by the CSO, Central Statistic Office, or NSO, under the Ministry of Statistics. By which year does National Bank for Financing Infrastructure Development aim to finalize loan sanctions up to 3 lakh crore rupees? So here 2026 is the right answer. Recently, the NAPFID has finalized loan sanctions of 1 lakh crore and disbursed the loans close to 60,000 crores, and it has announced that it is going to do that by the end of this current financial year. By the end of March 2026, NAPFID will increase its loan sanctions to 3 lakh crore, and understand this, guys, that it is an agency given or created for giving the loans. Okay, so it is very important that how many loans does this organization give, because it gives the loans for infrastructure, and in a way indirectly it is highlighting that the infrastructure is being developed in the nation. Okay? The investment is being done in the. Where did Indian Army conduct its massive military exercise Agnestra 1? So Ladakh it was conducted. HAL has signed an MOU with Fabrica Argentina de Avenos for collaboration in the aerospace sector. Which country does the latter belong to? So Argentina is the right answer. How many children were displaced in 2022 due to extreme weather conditions? 12 million children were displaced. So here, guys, the GRI index, which I was talking about all through the session. So read the following statements. Which of these are true about the index? Please tell me the true statement. So here, guys, 89 central ministries and departments were assessed and ranked in 2022. Data between January and December 2022 was used. These two statements are correct. 21, not 12 data were used. And in Group A category, Department of Post has been ranked as first. So only A and only first and second are the correct statements. So first of all, this department under the Ministry of Personnel has released the Grievance Redressal Assessment and Index for the year 2020. There has been a decline of almost 50% in the average disposal time for the central ministries and departments from 32 days to 18 days in 2020. This means that now the government is redressing the grievances in a very quick manner. 89 central ministries and departments were assessed. January to December 2022 data was taken. These are the three categories in which the ministries were divided. Ministries and departments. So the ministries and departments which have registered grievances more than 10,000, which have registered grievances between 2,000 to 9,999, and which have registered grievances below 2,000. So these are the three categories. In Group 1, Department of Post is first, UIDAI is second. So B, Department of Financial Services, that is pension reforms under, is first. Department of Legal Affairs is second. In Group C, Department of Land Resources first, Department of Pharmaceuticals second. The index runs on 4 dimensions. First is efficiency, feedback, domain, and organizational commitment basically. And we have 12 indicators which are distributed among these 4 dimensions or parameters. What is the remittance growth rate projection for low and middle income countries for 2023 by the World Bank's Migration and Development Rate? So this is the June edition of this Migration and Development Brief, and according to this, 1.4% is the growth rate in the remittances of the low and middle income countries. Okay. So according to this report, the remittances this year would be 656 billion US dollars. Okay. This edition has also revised the projections for 2022 to 8%, and the amount of remittance flows is $647 billion. The top 5 recipients of remittances in 2022 were India, Mexico, China, Philippines, and Pakistan. And you can clearly see the difference in the amounts. Okay, remember the amount of India and almost top 5 country के remittances flow का amount याद रख लो, because exam is very near. Okay, remittance flows to South Asia grew by 12% to $176 billion, and flows to India grew by 24% to reach $101 billion. Percentage is also important. How much progress has the world made in the health and survival sub-index of the Global Gender Gap Report 2023? So here guys, 96% is the right. So let's cover this report from the starting. World Economic Forum has released the Global Gender Gap Report. It is the 17th edition of this report. Parameters and sub-indices are economic participation and opportunity, educational attainment, health and survival, and political empowerment. 146 countries were assessed. Iceland, Norway, Finland are the top three. 127th is India's rank. You can clearly see from here. Iceland, Norway, Finland, New Zealand, Sweden. These are the top five countries. Then India is at the 127th position. 4, you can clearly see the range of the score is 0 to 1, and this is the score. India ka score yaad rakhna is very, very important. This is not important. Score change is not important. And India's rank has improved by 8 positions in this particular edition. Bottom rankers. So these are the bottom rankers. Afghanistan would be, obviously, we are talking about gender. So it is at the last. Progress in closing the gender gap. Okay. I hope this picture is clear. Okay, so here in the global gender gap index, we have seen an improvement of 68.4%. Economic participation and opportunity sub-index में the growth is 60.1%. In the educational attainment sub-index, the overall growth is 95.2%. This is showing that the world is near to achieve 100% educational, you can say, reach for the women. Okay, at least the gender gap will be closed as far as education is concerned. Health and survival sub-index, 96% of the gender gap has been closed. Political empowerment, 22.1%. A lot of work still needs to be done in the political arena. Now, the global gender gap index measures measures the countries on 0 to 100. Okay, so that statement is wrong because the scale of score is 0 to 1, not 100. It's 0 to 1, the scores. 2023 sub-index rankings. Economic participation and opportunity में Liberia is the first. India's rank is 142 and the score is this. Health and survival, top have 26 countries have topped in the health and survival. That means they have the same rank, same score. India has 147 or 142nd position. So clearly you can see that as far as giving out the jobs to women and closing down the gap, the gender gap in the existing workforce, and closing down the gap in the healthcare sector is very, very important in the context of India, because we are at the very bad position. Then political empowerment, Iceland is top and India is still better at 50. And education empowerment, we have 25 countries at the top position. India is at the 26th position. See, India's score is 1. And all these 25 countries also had the score 1. A total of 30 countries had 1 score. But still, 25 countries have been given 1 rank. But India onwards, the ranking is changed. India is the 26th country, and then we are seeing the rank. As far as we talk about the South Asian nation, so India is ranked at the 6th position among the South Asian countries. So in South Asia, India is considered as one of the major powers, and still we are lacking in the gender parity. We have one more index, that is Gender Social Norms Index, which was released by UNDP in the current time only, in the month of June only. 191 countries were assessed. India has been put in the medium human development category. Now here is the picture given to you. and I hope you can clear. So Switzerland is the first, Norway second, Iceland is the third, Hong Kong fourth, Australia is fifth. Top five is important that you need to remember. So as far as the HDI rank is concerned, if you go by the particular sub-index rank, that is Gender Development Index, Human Development Index, for life expectancy at birth, and these are different parameters on which the Human Development Index and is prepared. So you can clearly see the value, and you have to remember the value of India and the score of India. Values are not important for the top rankers. Only the sequence of their ranking is important, but for India, the scores are also every category. That is, next question is, which of the following agencies has predicted that Indian economy and the top global by 2050 and even surpass US by 2070? Goldman. There you can clearly see the changes in the economies. Now clearly see this thing that by 2050 China will be first, US will be second, India will be third. By 2075 China will be first, India will replace US and be at the second position. US will be at the According to the data released by PFRDA, the growth in enrollments in FY in FY23 witnessed dash% growth for a minimum pension of 1,000. So we have different slabs of enrollment. Okay. So the beneficiaries have to make the contribution. If they select 1,000 slab, then they have to contribute 1,000 and equivalent amount will be contributed by the government of India. If they select this, they have to contribute 1,000. If they select 5,000, the beneficiaries will also have to contribute. So in this category of 1,000, maximum enrollments have taken place. The growth is seen in this 1,000 slab, and the growth has declined. Number of enrollments have declined in these subsequent categories. So what was the growth percentage? It's 24%. So here we have been given the decline percentages, which can read around. Nothing major is there. Which bank has launched one view feature to simplify the process of managing finances for customers by providing them a bank account on one single platform, enabling them to track their balances and spend on real-time basis? Their Axis Bank is the right answer. Which country does Cormac McCarthy belong to? So he belongs to US. He's a writer, novelist, right, writer. So here, guys, we have completed the session for today. I hope this session was interesting and the low voice was not of a big issue for you. So if you have anything to say, if you want to give any suggestion, or if you want to share anything, I'm here. Thank you so much, Tapan. I hope, guys, you are not stressing out as the exam is approaching. Please don't stress. Okay. Please don't take any stress, guys. Okay. Just relax, because you need to know that a still mind uh, can only take the right decisions and can only the maximum output. That is something that you need to know and remember. Okay, guys. So thank you so much for being a wonderful audience, and I hope you are preparing really hard for the examination. Don't take stress and don't ruin it for yourself by taking a lot of stress. जितना होता है उतना करो, इसे करो. अब वही टाइम है, मॉक टेस्ट अपीयर करो, and now we are going to meet in the Maha Marathon. Till then, goodbye, take care.